Well, he coined a new phrase and devoted the past several weeks to promoting the positive impacts of his policies. We're talking about Bidenomics. But President Biden's efforts don't seem to be resonating with the public.
How do you know? Well, only 36% of U.S. adults approve of Biden's handling of the economy. That's according to a new poll from the Associated Press Nork Center for Public Affairs Research. Biden, though, banking on his Bidenomics blueprint as he gears up for his 2024 re-election campaign. And that campaign could be another matchup against his predecessor and 2020 opponent, Donald Trump.
With us now, Karoline Leavitt is a spokeswoman for Make America Great Again, Inc. Political analyst Mark Halperin is also with us. And Mark, let me start with you. Can we just talk economy? How much of this is actually going to play in the race for the White House in 2024?
Well, it's always going to be a big issue. It's an emotional issue. And the gap between perception and what the White House is selling is quite wide. The new Associated Press poll, probably arguably the worst news of the week for the White House.
Yeah, Caroline, many have pushed back even on news programs in terms of Bidenomics, his campaign staff, or rather his communications people. Why would you tie your name to something that many Americans do not see favorable in terms of how it's being handled by this administration? How are they seeing this as a winning message, in your opinion, Caroline?
Well, I think they're just grasping at straws, trying to do anything they possibly can to save face as they realize that Joe Biden is the weakest president in American history. They called the Inflation Reduction Act. They said it would reduce inflation. It's done quite the opposite. It has increased the cost of everything for American families, from groceries to gas, robbing the average American family of $700 every single month. The truth is, Joe Biden has never been in a weaker position. He's the most unpopular president in American history with record low approval ratings. And Donald Trump, who ushered in the greatest American economy the world has ever seen, has never been in a stronger position to win. Actually, according to the latest RCP average, Donald Trump is performing 3 points better than he did in 2016 with Hillary Clinton, a race in which he won. Joe Biden is performing 7 points worse than where he was in 2020. So Donald Trump has never been stronger, in large part because the American people remember just how better their lives were under his leadership.
And yet this time around, as we know, Donald Trump now facing 4 indictments. And that's going to require a lot of court date appearances. Mark, here's some of what Trump's political rivals are saying about the Georgia indictment. Former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie was asked whether Fani Willis might have brought charges against Trump because he wouldn't be able to shut down the state case and pardon himself if he's elected president in 2024. Here's that moment.
Prosecutor's job is to look at how you administer justice in this case. And let me say, first off, that I have no argument with the underlying conduct constituting something that should be seriously considered by any grand jury at the state or at the federal level. But what happened here was Jack Smith charged the case. He charged the case weeks ago that consumes this conduct. Now, she could have brought this case without Donald Trump. And because Jack Smith didn't charge anybody else other than Donald Trump in this matter.
So again, Christie addressing these indictments here. But Mark, have you seen other political rivals sort of come forward with a statement that might look negative on the frontrunner in this case?
Well, I'd say there's a couple who are in the category of Christie. And of course, Asa Hutchinson criticizes everything about Donald Trump, so he's in a different category. But the other candidates are still being guided by the public and private polling data that suggests that right now there's a rallying around Donald Trump. And they're not laying off President Trump on this issue because they're nice or because they love him or because they want to help him. They're laying off because they see in the polling data where the voters are on this issue. Most Republicans have greater concerns about the question of whether this is a witch hunt or an equal application of justice than they do about any underlying conduct.
All right. We're going to wait and see what happens there, and maybe we'll hear more from the debate stage about what these candidates actually feel. Karoline Leavitt, Mark Halperin, Political Panel, thanks for coming on today.